Hi everyone, it's me, and today, can we finally solve this ARG together? Let's go!
You've been traveling down this path for some time now. To get to this point, you've had to overcome 7 unique challenges, but now it's time to move forward by looking back. Rewinding through all the puzzles you've faced thus far, going back beyond what you even thought was the beginning, even past where you started. You're confused, but you press onward, not because you want to, but because you need to. You must uncover the secrets of the old data. Game developers, spies, even one of the most dangerous men in history have all died because of its contents. Hopefully your fate is different from theirs.
Game Theory!
Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory.
Press N button to terrorize. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory! Hello! Let's start.
Where today we finish our fishing expedition through the hidden codes of Inscryption. Last time we began to unravel the mystery of the old data file, the glitchy zip file that appears in the final moments of the game. A file so awful that our player character Luke Carter smashes the game disk over it. A file so valuable that the game devs Game Funa are willing to kill Luke to get it back. A file so powerful that it was able to turn the game's 4 scribes into sentient, self-aware beings. But what is it? Well, the game never really says, at least directly. You see, when you start the second act of Inscryption, a Windows command line appears on screen that we can interact with. However, in trying to use this to access old data, we're asked for a series of ciphers, passcodes, with each layer more cryptic and difficult to solve than the last. And
it's like a firewall, but different layer. Oh no. It could be like an onion. There's different layers. Wow.
So last time, our ARG puzzle solving quest began. By digging around through various game events and watching 11 minutes of credits to find a single Easter egg, we got our first cipher. But it turns out that was only step 1. We unlocked part of a chat log, but it seemed to only be one part of a 3-way conversation. Hidden inside of that was another series of clues leading to the next part of the cipher. Now we were being asked to dig deeper, editing game files, digging through asset files, finding unique card combinations to spawn almost uncanny in-game events, decoding Morse code in both the visuals and music. And we did it. There we stood, 7 puzzles deep and with another part of the chat log unlocked, but with still one chunk missing. And that was where we had to leave things off last time, leading us to today for the final puzzles and the ultimate solution. Fortunately, just like the last time, the last chat log left us with a series of clues hiding in the text to create a new 3-part code, one that'll hopefully give us the third and final cipher, which from there should tell us everything we need to know about the mysterious and dangerous old data.
The mysterious and dangerous old data.
So friends, let's not waste any more time because I am not making this into a 4-parter. The first clue we have is back to beginning, so let's do just that. I went back to the start of the game and couldn't find anything. Alright, well maybe it's referring to the real start of the game once you beat Leshy and unlock new game. Nope, nothing there either. There was nothing I could find in the game that this made sense with, and that's when it dawned on me. Daniel Mullins has already hidden references to his old games as a part of this ARG, so why not take a look at his catalog? At first, I thought it might have meant his first ever game, but again, nothing there. However, when I checked out his itch.io page, something stood out. Those cards, that squirrel, looks familiar, doesn't it? It's from a game called Sacrifices Must Be Made, which, it turns out, is an early prototype for Inscryption. Back to beginning, meaning like literally back to when the game's creation first started. Beating Sacrifices Must Be Made causes the game to search for a file called cipher.cipher, which doesn't actually exist, so, you know, let's create one. By making a file using our previous cipher code, naming it cipher.cipher, and then beating the game, we get ourselves this, a brief reveal of the phrase, "What lies ahead?" So with that, step number 1 is done. Our second clue is manatee. Yeah, that one was nearly impossible to solve, so we're just gonna come back to that. Sometimes you just have to walk away and move on to a different part of the assignment.
Yep, sometimes you just have to skip and go to the next questions. Sometimes.
Third clue was actually a bit easier. Birchkin 5657M. The name Birchkin sounded familiar to me, but where was it from again? Birchkin. I rewatched portions of the game, and lo and behold...
Today I am opening Catch Monsters packs, and our first rare is a Birchkin.
Luke Carter's videos from the main game. Yep, it turns out that Catch Monsters isn't just a trademark neutral substitute for Pokemon. I mean, it is, but it was also the name of a Daniel Mullins game that actually failed to get funded on Kickstarter back in 2014.
It's designed for people like me who grew up playing Pokemon and still do, but are now adults and seek a richer gaming experience.
Wow, 2014, come on, that's like 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Nearly a decade ago, eh. Man, I feel old.
Sadly, because of this, it never made it past the prototype phase. But wait a minute, did you see that? It's a wild birchkin. What does it mean? Downloading and playing the existing prototype, we learned that in Catch Monsters, birchkin is associated with one very specific word, its ability, pacifism. So that's the first half of our first clue solved. But then what about the second half of it? 56 to 57m. Like meters? Like, is that an estimate of distance? Well, since the last two clue solves required us to go back to Daniel Mullins' previous games, maybe this one requires us to do it too? It does, kinda. A bunch of Daniel Mullins' fans noticed that measuring distance was a feature in a 2018 game called Beneath the Surface, a game that Mullins had used in the past to create the secret ending of his other game, The Hex. But that's honestly a theory for another day. This game was developed by Carla51, which in itself seems to be a reference to a character from The Hex. The actual gameplay bears a striking resemblance to another Daniel Mullins game, Beneath the Ice, a game that he created at a game jam back in 2014, where the theme was, get this, beneath the surface. Both are simple games that involve ice fishing for items hidden at various depths, earning money from your finds, and discovering weird secrets the deeper you go. All of this, coupled with the fact that Beneath the Surface is Carla51's only game, it leads me to speculate that Carla51 may actually be an alias for Daniel Mullins himself.
Oh, so it's something like an anonymous account. So that's like a test run. Interesting, interesting.
To keep his ARG clues a bit more obscure. But anyway, like I said, all of this is just me speculating and I'm getting way off track, so back to the 56 to 57 meters thing. We cast our line down in beneath the surface to that depth, and what we find is an old disc. Starting to notice a pattern here, but the code that we get with it is way too big to be our cipher key. So what did we do wrong? Well, nothing. We just have to realize that Beneath the Ice came from the same game jam as Sacrifices Must Be Made. To solve the clue, we need to use the cipher.cipher file from Sacrifices. So let's use the one that worked with the Back to the Beginnings clue. Nope, didn't work. How about this other code from the ARG? Not that one either. Okay. This one from a previous cipher? Yeah! All right, now we're back in business. I was worried there for a second. Doing this unlocks the phrase, "Who knows what secrets are inscribed upon it?" It's easy enough to read, but we only need 6 characters to solve for this part of the cipher, and wouldn't you know it, there are 6 characters in the phrase that aren't letters. 0044!3. So that is chunk number 3 solved.
Oh my gosh, man, that is super detailed there. Super meta. Gosh, it must be like, wow, spent a lot of time making it.
Which brings us back to the sea cows, the manatee clue. This, to me, was the ARG's hardest challenge, and shout out to the Daniel Mullins Games Discord for helping me out with this one. I spent hours racking my brain trying to remember if there was like a manatee card that I'd missed within the game that could help me answer the clue, but alas, there was not. I went back to all his previous games on his itch.io, since that seemed to be the running theme through this chunk of clues, and again, nothing. I thought I'd checked everywhere, but the Daniel Mullins Games Discord knew that there was still one place left that no one had checked yet, the real world. That's right, one of Luke Carter's videos shows him revealing a strange set of coordinates when he opens a pack of cards.
There's a set of coordinates on this card. 49 degrees north, 123 degrees west.
Turns out if you follow the coordinates that Luke found in his pack of Inscryption cards, it leads you to a forest in Vancouver. Discord users Nuts for Nuts and Memes Praise Snack actually went out to explore the area, and wouldn't you know, there was in fact a mysterious box buried at those coordinates, complete with a floppy disk inside.
What the? Wow! Wow! Spent so much effort making this. You're incredible! You're just incredible!
Man, it kinda makes me want to wander alone deep through the Canadian woods more often. Much like Luke Carter, they too had to go online to order an external floppy disk drive, which, you know, is just a pretty great moment of life imitating art. Anyway, that floppy disk contained a file named File, which just contained the words, "This guy moaned." Oof, I am not sure that I like where this one's heading.
Okay,
Unfortunately, this was actually a name of a now deleted Reddit account that back in 2017 made a post on the Smash Up card game subreddit. Yep, 2017. Daniel Mullins was playing the long game with this one. This Reddit post contained the idea for a custom faction, the Aqua Romans. In their words, imagine if the Roman Empire was underwater. So of course, one of the custom cards in this 4-year-old Reddit post is called Manatee Antony. So we go from Manatee to Antony, or Manatee ## to Antony ####. Fun fact, Octothorpe is the official name for a hashtag. Anyway, the extra Octothorpes are there because, you know, it's still gotta fit into the cipher. Like I said, this one, nearly impossible, and worse, would have required me to fly up to frigid Vancouver in the winter, so glad to hand that off to someone else. And with that, we have our third and hopefully final cipher.
After all these years, finally, we have them all.
So we go back to the command line, plug this baby in, and are rewarded with yet another part of our chat log. I started to piece it all together to make a full conversation, and there are still pieces missing. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Had you ever heard of the rule of threes? One more overexcited exclamation to complete this joke? See, the chat log actually tells you what parts of the conversation go where. At the start of each section, we see a number and a letter within square brackets. These markers also appear in the middle of paragraphs within the chat log, telling us the location of the corresponding message within the conversation. But I now have responses from certain characters that don't belong anywhere. There's gotta be more, something that allows me to fit all these pieces together. And there is, but it's physically impossible for me to solve because I was late to the party. You see, I tried looking for codes within the chat log like we'd done before, but there wasn't a single thing to be found. There was, however, a corrupt data message smack dab in the middle of the whole thing that didn't really seem to belong. Data corrupted. For any quality concerns, please contact Kaminsky Data Storage MFG, finishing with the web address for us to follow, KaminskyMFG.com. If you go to the website now, there's nothing there. It just tells you packages are on the way. However, thanks to the power of the internet, we can see that if we had tried it during the initial parts of the ARG, we would have found a site that looked like this, with a field to enter your address. Luckily, Twitch streamer Uwawa, Discord user Trollinator, and Discord user Princess Fizzy S Fire Esquire III did put their addresses in time, and they received individual floppy disks. Plus, they didn't get murdered by a rogue game creator, so bonus. Each of the three
Yeah, bonus. Please don't do that. Bonus? I guess, lucky then?
users was sent an incomplete file with characters missing, but combining all three of those files gave the following output text, some random code, and then thank you for playing, Inscryption friend, the end. I mean, it's a nice little message for dedicated fans of the game, but no, it's another clue. I mean, look at it. My eyes have been trained to see these things at this point. I'm not crazy. At least this time, I'm not crazy. That layout of the second line is no coincidence. It's identical to all our other ciphers so far, and if we type that into the log.txt file from the very beginning of this whole thing, we get even more Polish text, which, again, using my mother's limited grasp of the Polish language coupled with the help of the Daniel Mullins community, gives us the finished transcript. Finally! It reads like a Reddit thread, with people commenting and replying to a document at different times. Doesn't make for the easiest of script reads, but we'll do our best.
And I, head editor Dan, will apologize now for the terrible Russian accent.
Alright, please be understanding. Thank you so much. Let's start.
April 30th, 1945. Top secret information.
Me and my comrade Maxim took photographs of the corpse and buried it at the drop-off spot at...
This is it. This transcribed journal page reveals the very location of Herr Hitler's rotting corpse, and, more importantly, the precisely ordered deck of cards in his jacket pocket, the Karnoffel code. I cracked the encryption last night. My situation here in the USSR is delicate, but I believe this intelligence warrants an action that may blow my cover.
Yeah, it did. Poor old Barry Wilkinson was imprisoned literally hours after these words were written to the disc. He did eventually get back to the States, but I've not had any luck contacting him. There are actually a ton of Barry Wilkinsons, and it might not even be his real name.
I'm now prepared to smuggle the disc out of Moscow to West Berlin, then on Boston. The disc is carefully concealed among many blank ones.
Eureka! That explains so much, actually. I could not figure out why this disc would be tossed into a crate with a bunch of blank ones. Barry's plan to smuggle it out this way seems contrived at best, but I can't imagine the pressure he was under over there.
Idiot. Fate of the world if you take into consideration further effects. And toss him into a chest with a ton of identical discs. Now we have to kiss the boots of the Russians, or risk the worst outcome. I surely have better things to do than reading and reading again this top secret disc. But no! Idiots from GameFuna have to finish their game. It's a cover, guys!
You too, Mr. Kaminsky. They never told us that.
No one's going to play it. Just give me a clone of Super Weasel Kid so I can go print it so an 8-foot-tall Russian doesn't come knocking on my door at 11 o'clock in the evening.
Yes, he's equally angry in person.
I believe this plan will work, and if it does not, better to lose this old data than allow the Soviets an opportunity to use it.
We are currently awaiting further instructions at the local tavern. Playing a lot of Durak accompanied with a few shots of vodka.
How fitting.
Indeed, Barry, indeed.
We are full and satisfied, but about our accomplished, we won't say a word to our work today. It seems to us that we have already come to the end of such a long journey.
I have failed to change that encryption. I shouldn't even be trying. But what can I do to kill the time?
So there you have it. Finally, the real ending to this whole game. The old data is a collection of top secret documents and files, with the Karnoffel code at the core of it all. A code created from the order of the Karnoffel cards hidden on Hitler's corpse the day that he died during World War II. It sounds like the Soviets, in finding Hitler's body, managed to create a malicious piece of computer code, a combination of Cold War era computing and Nazi occultism. Barry Wilkinson managed to infiltrate the Soviet Union and stole the disk containing the data, then hid that disk in a box of blanks that ended up in the hands of GameFuna. They created Inscryption to cover up the presence of the Karnoffel code located in the old data. GameFuna were just doing their patriotic duty by hiding the code deep within the game, and then they killed off Casey to tie up any loose ends once the job was done. It's still not clear how the Karnoffel code works, how some order of cards in a dictator's pocket would bring sentient to a group of computer programs, but then again, it doesn't seem like the game devs knew either. It feels like Cold War propaganda. The Soviets have it, so it must be important, so we're gonna stop them from having it because they're the bad guys. Nevertheless, we did it. After 3 videos, we solved every mystery inside of Inscryption. So then, why do I feel so empty? Like something is still unfinished. Well, we have this whole chat log around this important document. We know that person A is Barry and person B is Mr. Kaminsky, but who then is person C? With them being the latest commenter, it means that nobody actually refers to them by name. So then why are they important to the story? Well, for our final answer, we have to explore yet another Daniel Mullins creation, the official expansion to Inscryption, Casey's mod. And yes, even though it's called a mod, it is created by Dan Mullins, so it is the real deal. What this mod does is turn the game into a challenge mode of Act 1, but with a twist. If you complete enough challenges in a single run, you unlock what appears to be a devlog from none other than Casey Hobbs, the woman that worked at GameFuna, the one who buried the original Inscryption disc out in the woods, the one who was burned to death in a fire. In our original theory, we believe that she was the one that put Leshy in charge to purposefully soft lock the game, thereby stopping old data from being discovered. However, these devlogs unlocked through Casey's mod actually revealed a slightly different story. So far, there are only 4 entries. The game is still technically in beta, so more may very well be on the way. But with the ones that we have already, we see how Casey's story really went. The first 2 entries show us the story of how the angler found the old data, like he was doing during Act 2, and so began walking to take it to Leshy. But Casey states that the character doesn't have a walking animation anywhere in the files. She even tries other discs, and she can't replicate it. Everything is normal on all those other copies, but when she goes back to the original copy, she discovers the 3D game that we're all familiar with Leshy in charge. So she wasn't actually the creator of it, the old data just kind of allowed all that to happen. In entries 3 and 4, she writes that she's probing other devs for information, and she finds a log from Mr. Kaminsky explaining the game to be a cover. This proves then that Casey is undoubtedly person C from the chat thread that we deciphered. She even talks about meeting him in person and him seeming off, which is also referenced in the decoded document. It was pretty clear when I met him that the guy had issues. Yes, he is equally angry in person. Now we know that Casey was a developer at GameFuna, but she, much like Luke, was just discovering the game and its secrets for the first time. Like I said, the mod is still in beta, so there's a high chance that we'll get more devlog entries and figure out how she started working on the project and what she did to end up in a fire that led to her death. If Luke is anything to go by, I'm pretty sure GameFuna may have had something to do with it. However, despite GameFuna taking such measures to try and conceal the game from the public, they failed. We're all playing it after all, so how'd that happen? Well, we find out using the finalist of final clues that was hidden back in the thank you message from the end of the ARG.
Wait a minute, stop for a moment first. You do recognize that the final is not going to be final, right?
Remember that random series of letters and numbers that the people who got sent the disc were able to put together? Well, that's not any normal code, that's actually a YouTube URL. In this YouTube video, we see the old data files, the great transcendence halted from upload, thanks to our actions in the game. But then all of a sudden, it starts uploading again, leaving nothing on screen except a familiar face, the stoat, looking back at us, and with a wink, the video ends. P03 did what he set out to do. He made the game, and in turn, old data and the Karnaffel code available for the whole world to see. And that, my friends, is the true final ending of Inscryption. Stoat gets the last laugh, and Game Funa has a lot of houses to visit. Don't open your door to strangers, friends. But hey, it's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Wow, that is super meta and super deep, man. The storyline for this game is just incredibly detailed and well hidden by me. Anyways, I'm thankful for all of you for watching this video together with me. Watching this series have been very incredible. Just marvelous. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video together with me. I hope that you find this video very enjoyable and just weird but interesting at the same time. Wow. Anyways, if you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Don't forget to follow my channel, and I sincerely appreciate all of your support and encouragement for my work. Thank you all so much, you're the best, and I hope to see you all in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye! Subscribe! Thank you. I'm sorry.